What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another Markland Mondays. This is the Thanksgiving edition. Just want to say thank y'all for joining me tonight. Before we get started, you know how we always do. Make sure that you comment if you haven't already done so. Make sure you share this video. Let everybody know what we're doing because we do this every Monday. Make sure you share your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. If you agree, disagree with what I'm saying. Also, make sure please hit those reaction buttons because you know what we do. We love. So hit that love reaction button. Let me know how you're feeling as well. All right, so let's get started. Now, this is Thanksgiving. This is the week where everybody usually gets together with friends and family and loved ones and just, shares a big old Thanksgiving turkey and all that other stuff. However, as we always do, everything that we do with these Markland Mondays is we talk about love and relationships and just going through all of the ups and downs that occur when you are in love with somebody, or even not even in love. Let's not take it that deep. Let's say you're just getting started in a relationship. Y'all know the hardest thing to get started, and that's why I like in a car, the hardest gear is first gear. The reason why, it takes so much energy, so much stress, so many resources are devoted to getting that thing moving, and it's the same with a relationship. So with Thanksgiving, it also can present a lot of stresses, a lot of hurdles, a lot of things that could affect a relationship, especially when you're just getting started. Okay, we know that Thanksgiving, yes, it can be a good, happy moment, especially when there's family and friends. However, those same family and friends can present issues to a relationship. All right, so how can they do that? Well, uncomfortable questions. Y'all know those questions. It's like, hey, how long y'all been together, and when y'all plan on getting married, and and don't let there be kids involved. We're gonna get into that in a second. So all of those questions can come up, especially around Thanksgiving. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. Is it good? Is it bad? Yeah, but it's what happens. All right. Now, that brings up another question. When do you introduce them? Now, before we get started with every Markland Mondays conversation, we have a little chat group. Michelle, she does it on her page, and also in the thread which announces when the next show is coming. I always have conversations in there as well. So if you haven't participated in this one, every conversation, every Monday, we do it. So make sure you jump in that chat way before the actual Markland Mondays live conversation begins. So the question is, when do you introduce them to your family? I mean, meaning if you just started dating, let's say it's been a month, 4 weeks, do you bring them around your family for Thanksgiving, or do you wait a little bit before you bring them in? Because once again, friends and family, they can be the worst sometimes, right? And here's something else too with Thanksgiving. What we're talking about is the stress and how hard it can be around Thanksgiving. Yes, it's a great period of time, but it can be tough. So one of those things is, let's say you have a long distance Thanksgiving. One of the things that we really think about when it comes to Thanksgiving is the military. Members of our military, thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you do. But let's say that, they're overseas, you're here. Or it could just be a domestic situation. I've got plenty of friends that are from California. So I'm here in Georgia. So you got that bi-coastal situation where you're not able to be with that particular person. So once again, Thanksgiving and just those things are tough. Have you been in that situation? If you have, let me know. How did y'all deal with it? How did things play out after after Thanksgiving? Did it make things better, or did it make things worse? In the chat, someone said, hey, I'm not going to introduce, if we just started dating and it's been 6 weeks or less, cancel Christmas. I'm not bringing them around the family. We can wait. In fact, Stephanie, my cousin, she was like, yo, if we just started dating, hey, Happy New Year. Because that's when that's when I may bring you around in the new year if things work out. So it does make a difference as far as how long you've been in a relationship before you decide to bring them around the family. And one person, Anita, she was like, yo, I'm not going to bring them around at all until it gets serious. I guess that means that they putting a ring on, is it this finger? It's the left hand, right? It's been so long. Anyway, until they put a ring on her finger, nah, they're not showing up. All right. Now, this is also another situation when it comes to those relationships. Kids, okay? Kids are already a tough situation to be, to deal with when you have a situation where you're dating. But think about it. Who do they go with? Do they go with your family, or do they go with the significant others? And that, once again, in and of itself, can and will present a difficult situation as well. Because once you have the kids over there, of course, you have the extended families, and once do they go with that extended family? Do they stay with your family, or let's say the new the baby's parent, whether it's baby mama, baby daddy, whatever the case may be, they have their own extended family. Ooh. Do you see what I'm saying? That's how, yes, Thanksgiving is all about love, but guess what? It does have some tough situations. Now, you see what the shirt says, right? Eat, sleep, right? But let's talk about eating. Let's say they can't cook. If your significant other cannot cook, that's going to be a problem, right? Because I've got a real good friend of mine. She's a vegetarian. I know we've prayed for her, but for whatever reason, she just ain't going to eat. Anyway, she's a vegetarian, and proudly so. Let's say that you're a carnivore. You love some meat. You love some steak. You love all of that stuff. And it's a situation of they don't, or their family doesn't. How do you navigate that kind of thing? Let me know if you've been in that situation. If you're a vegetarian, we're going to pray for you. But I want to know what are your feelings on that? You're a vegetarian, but you know that if you're going over to their family's house, they eat everything. If it used to have a pulse, it's going to be served up for dinner. So how would you necessarily negotiate or navigate that situation? If you've been in that, let me know. I'm really curious to hear that. So like I said, if they can't cook is one thing, but let's say, they don't eat pork. You don't eat pork. It doesn't sound like it's a big situation, and it's definitely not a deal breaker if you communicate and navigate through the situation properly. But once again, it is the potential that can affect your relationship. Now we're going to take this a little bit different, right? This isn't necessarily this isn't my lifestyle. How Michelle says they need to fend for themselves on Thanksgiving. Yes, I agree. You can have what they call it, a Beyond Turkey, or to each his own. But let's talk about this. Poly Thanksgiving. Now, if I'm not in the poly lifestyle, but there are plenty people are. I mean, you have multiple parties and partners in the relationship. How do you navigate that particular aspect of the Thanksgiving dinner? Like I said, that's not my lifestyle, but if you're in that particular type of situation, how do you handle that? Who goes to whose house? How does it go? Do all three of y'all go together? Or in some cases it may even be four. How do you navigate that particular aspect of the relationship? Let me know. I am really, really, really curious to know how you would handle that. Now, y'all know that I am proudly Jamaican. I am a proud Jamaican man. So that brings me to Caribbean Thanksgivings. Natasha in the chat, she was like, hey, she's a proud Haitian woman. And she's like, I'm not bringing them around my Caribbean parents because she ain't got time for all the questions, all the drilling that they're going. So what you doing, my daughter, and all that? No, she doesn't want to hear that. So if you're Caribbean, I know Michelle, she's Antiguan, or if more Jamaicans out there, how is it in a Caribbean household where you bring someone in, and especially if they aren't Caribbean? I mean, of course we're here in the U.S., but let's say, for instance, you're Jamaican, or you're just whatever Caribbean country you may be from, dating an American. It's already a little bit of a certain differences within the cultures. How would that how does that affect you, or have you been in that situation before? What up, Ty? Thanks for joining the conversation. I just kicked my camera. Thanks for joining the conversation, Ty. Tonight we are talking about Thanksgiving and how the Thanksgiving holiday can affect your relationship, both good and for bad. One of the things that we've also talked about, y'all know that question. Who gets served first. Okay, ladies, please tell me, have you had this situation and how did you negotiate it? I'm trying to find my notes, but I'm so doggone disorganized. Woo, there we go. Who gets served first? All right, ladies, do you serve the husband / boyfriend? If you have kids, do you serve them first? What about your parents? How does that work? Or does everybody fend for themselves? Basically, you just grab a plate and you get in where you fit in. Let me know. Me, I just want to grab a plate or two, and you know what? It's time to eat. Hey, whoever eats, they eat. So that's always been my viewpoint, but y'all tell me what you think in the conversation, in the chat. I would love to hear it. So that's basically what we've been talking about as far as just, Thanksgiving, how it affects relationships. I know this week is going to be a busy week if it hasn't already been for you. I know a lot of, with kids being out of school, you have people are traveling. And that also is another point as well. If you have to travel with your significant other to go to another city, to another state, to another country, how does that affect your relationship? I mean, it's already tough enough that you have to deal with that kind of thing, but how does that affect, or how can it affect your relationship? These are the questions that I personally have been thinking about when it comes to relationships, when it comes to the difficulty that is the dating situation here that we all have to deal with. So let me know what you think in the chat. I'm not really going to go into this one long tonight. Like I said, it is Thanksgiving, and me as well. I've got stuff I've got to take care of with Thanksgiving, but just wanted to talk about that. Like I said, it's just something I was talking to a friend of mine today, and we were talking about her relationship, and she was telling me about her ex. And her ex-husband, and how he was supposed to have come in and taken the kids for Thanksgiving, and he had told the kids, hey, we're gonna go here for Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but then he ended up not being able to secure the transportation to get them to where they were planning on going. So it's like their Thanksgiving is starting off on a negative note, they being the kids, they being his, and also his parents, because they were looking forward to seeing their grandkids. But everyone's Thanksgiving can be tied up in the relationship and how things are handled. So that really is one of the many points when it comes to Thanksgiving. Yes, it's a positive holiday. Yes, it can be a positive holiday, and quite honestly, it leads up to Christmas, which is another situation as well. And that kind of goes back to what Stephanie was saying, where she was like, hey, I'm not going to see you until after New Year, because guess what? Then you don't have to worry about Christmas shopping and Black Friday and all that stuff anyway. We can worry about it in 2020 or whatever the next year may be. So, like I said, tonight we're not really going to have a long conversation, but I just wanted to go ahead and touch on this topic. As y'all know, the chat always continues afterwards, and please, by all means, let me know what you think. Also, as you know, the YouTube channel, this video will be on the YouTube channel. So if you are not subscribed to me on YouTube, just make sure you do so. Just select what up, cuz, what up, Stephanie. It's like just make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Not only do I do these Markland Mondays videos, but there are also going to be a couple other new playlists that I'm going to be doing on YouTube, as well as the Ready to Love reviews that I do as well. So subscribe to me on YouTube. Make sure you share, subscribe, like, and as usual, I will see y'all next week. Have a great week and happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Be safe out there, y'all. Please be safe, be careful. Have a good one.